Welcome to the walkthrough for bombs at GridBombs.com. GridBombs is a new brain-teasing puzzle game that we developed a few years ago and are now offering mainstream. The object is really simple, but accomplishing it can be quite difficult. Each puzzle is populated with a series of random numbers/colors, and your goal is to rearrange the entire grid so that it all matches one number/color in as few moves as possible. It doesn't matter what that number or color is as long as the whole grid becomes just that one digit. The trick, though, is that when you change one square, it affects multiple squares around it. To make things even more complicated, we've added bombs to the game. Now, not all grid bombs have bombs, and you'll know if your puzzle has one by the little asterisks seen right here next to a number. If you have this asterisk, you have a bomb in your puzzle. A bomb exists in two stages, active and inactive. While it's inactive, it really doesn't affect you all that much, but once it becomes active, it can mess things up. So let's have a look at what we got right here. This puzzle looks like it'd be really simple to solve. Looks like you could basically solve it with blue 2s in probably just a couple moves. If you just changed this guy a couple times, you could sort of scroll through and make all these guys 2. But in this case, we have a little bomb here, and that's going to mess things up. So what happens with a bomb is, if you click on this square, you'll see it's got 1, 2, 3, and then the fourth is represented by a B, a bomb. So when this square turns to a 4, if it becomes a 4, that means your bomb then is active, and it's going to change things up. So like normally if I change this square, the square above it, below it, to the left and to the right of it will increase by 1, right? So if I change this to a 1, all these guys here would become a 3, or even if I change it to a 2, they'll all become 3s or whatever. So if I change this to a 2, they'll become 3s. So like in a sense, I think I'm quite fast on my way to accomplishing this. But the trick here, like I said before, is that when this bomb goes off, if this bomb becomes active, what happens is the square above it, below it, to the left of it, and the right, it all become 1. This guy will become 1, he'll become a 2, he'll become a 3, and he'll become a 4, and they'll stay that way until the bomb is flipped off. So let's just turn this bomb on and see what happens. So kind of like boom, all these guys become red. So this guy becomes 1, 2, 3, and 4. It doesn't matter now what I do. As long as this digit, the square, is on the B, the bomb, these numbers will always be 1, 2, 3, 4. So if I change this guy to a 1, normally that would increase him to a 2 and increase him to a 3. But in this case, my bomb is still on, so he stays 1, he stays 2. I just keep on doing that. He stays 1, he stays 2. So really, until I turn this bomb off, that will always be the case. In some cases, that could be handy because you know, maybe you want to use that, but a lot of times it's just sort of a pain in the butt. So let's just flip him back to 3. So that basically turns the bomb off. He's now 2, 3, 4. I can increase this guy around, and these numbers now behave normally. You can also inadvertently activate a bomb by changing a square next to a bomb. So if I change this guy to a number, that's going to increment him by 1 and increase him by 1 and increase him by 1, right? So if I change him to a 3, for example, he turns into a 4, and my bomb has just inadvertently gone off. So this guy becomes 1, 2, 3, 4. And same with the other side. If I change this guy to a 2 or whatever, that's going to, or I change him a couple times, you know, this guy's increasing, getting closer and closer to being active, and then all of a sudden, boom, bomb goes off, and it kind of messes me up. So it just kind of makes the game a little trickier. So let's just solve this puzzle, see if we can do it in just a couple moves here, or whatever. Just wait till this thing refreshes. So, like I said earlier, your temptation might be to go right here and sort of change it. There's whatever, some faster and slower ways to do this, but let's just go through a sort of a standard way. Let's just change him, for example. Let's just change him to a 1, and then let's just change this guy. Let's just do a quick scroll through. Let's change him. If I change him, these guys are both going to increase to a 4. So let's change him to a 3, then to a 1. Now they're all become 1s, and let's change him to a 2. These guys are all 2s. And let's change them to, yeah, let's just leave them there. And we can do the same thing over here. 1s, those, let's make them a 4, that'll become 1s. I changed them to a 2, now these guys are all 2s. And up here as well, I can sort of increment him through. I'm burning a lot of moves this way, but I'm eventually getting all these guys to match. Change them to a 2, now they're all matched. And in this case, now they're all 1s, and if one more flip, they'll all become 2s, and my puzzle will be solved. Boom, I've done it in 15 moves. So I can play this puzzle as many times as I want, try to reduce my score. But basically the goal with any single grid bomb, it's the same no matter if it has bombs or not, is that you want to change this entire grid to match one number or color. It doesn't matter what that number or color is, as long as by the end of the day all these grids match. And the lower your score, the better. This one was relatively simple, just a 3x3 with one bomb. And as you move along, the grids will get bigger, and the puzzles can have multiple bombs, and they'll get a lot more complicated, and that's where the real fun definitely begins. So anyway, hopefully bombs make more sense to you now, and you feel more comfortable playing our game. GridBombs is like any other activity, in that the more you play, the better you get at it. So keep practicing. You can play like levels as many times as you want to get a better score. You're not really limited in that sense. So just go out and have some fun. Hopefully you have some happy grid bombing, and keep coming back for your weekly puzzles at GridBombs.com. Thanks a lot.